वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम्
Vani Tripathi is a multi-talented individual who has made significant contributions to the entertainment industry and the realm of social activism. Vani, known for her remarkable acting career and role as a producer, is also the youngest ever member of the Central Board of Film Certification, widely recognized as the Censor Board. Her unwavering commitment to socio-political causes has propelled her campaigns and outreach programs, which primarily focus on empowering women in politics and fostering a universal platform for the youth to address crucial issues like education, empowerment and employment. Having immersed herself in various artistic adventures including theatre, films, television, Vani's creative repertoire boasts an impressive portfolio. With approximately 50 plays, 40 television serials and 6 films under her belt, she has garnered a wealth of experience both in India and abroad. Vani is currently involved in the industry extends beyond performance as she currently delves into writing on topics related to broadcasting and content creation. Her expertise and dedication were further acknowledged when she became a member of the course steering committee for the International Film Festival of India in Goa, a position that she has now held for the past 4 years. She is truly an exemplary multi-talented individual and we are beyond grateful to have her here with us today. Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Apal Jain, who is an alumni of the US State Department's program, a TEDx speaker, and honorary convener of the Rajasthan and Central India Affairs of Apal Jain Foundation. She is also the chairperson of VCARE and an honorary executive of the Rajasthan Forum. She is a state council member of CII and an ex-chair of FICC FLO. I would like to invite her up to talk about her work.
A very, very good morning to each one of you present here. Thank you, Indu ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Ritu ma'am, and thanks to all of you for gathering here in large numbers. I'm sure you're really going to have a very nice time. The 1 hour packed session with Vani Tripathi Tikoo is going to be a very, very memorable one. And when you go back, I'm so sure that you're going to go and read the book because the book is fabulous. So this program is here brought to Neerja Modi School by Prabhakatan Foundation. And Prabhakatan Foundation has this small little initiative called Muskaan. It is a joint initiative of Education for All and Prabhakatan Foundation. And Muskaan has been organizing programs worldwide, all related and all for the children. Prabhakatan Foundation is dedicated to all-round development of social, cultural welfare and humanitarian aspects of the Indian society. It is a not-for-profit founded by late Dr. Prabhakatan ji. Prabhaji, she was an eminent author, a philanthropist, social worker, industrialist. Based in Calcutta, the organization promotes art, culture, literature of India and is engaged in many welfare activities with its associates for children, women and the elderly. Coming to Muskaan. Muskaan was founded in June 2021 and this was an initiative of Education for All and the Prabhakatan Foundation. It is aimed at promoting skill development among children through webinars, courses and workshops. All the activities which we do, including this interaction today with the author, we believe that this goes a long way in building and making a holistic approach of the children like you. Muskaan seeks to popularize and teach arts, culture, heritage and literature among the young children in India by weaving it into the formal and the informal education system. This is done by engaging students in diverse activities like cultural programs, storytelling, theatre, dance, music and performing arts, which is in collaboration with national and international institutes and associations. So this collaboration today with the Neerja School is also a result of such endeavours of Muskaan. Muskaan also supports the needy and the marginalized students by providing them with tuition and coaching classes, providing them with fees, stationeries and all the other relevant materials for schooling. And Talking Pages is a small initiative. You see the logo here. So Talking Pages is also a student-driven initiative for they use performing arts, various forms of performing arts to help children get out of stressful situations. So these are small little things and in future also we would like to get more programs for you. Thank you so much once again and we are very, very thrilled.
Amazing humanitarian work. Today, we gather here to celebrate Ms. Vani Tripathi's newest achievement, a debut children's book entitled Why Can't Elephants Be Red, published by Neo Keepers. This captivating tale introduces readers to Aku, a vibrant and imaginative 2.5-year-old who embarks on a thrilling journey of growth in the cities of Gurgaon and Singapore. Aku's experiences from playing with her beloved pets to exploring the joys of swimming and savoring new foods instill in her a boundless curiosity and unbridled delight. The young protagonist's passion for drawing and coloring leads her to a world of whimsy where she encounters vividly hued elephants, mustached crabs and hornless unicorns. As the story unfolds, Aku faces her most significant adventure yet, the first day of school. Drawing upon her extensive work in theatre and education, Ms. Vani Tripathi, who is also a practitioner of Grips Theatre in Berlin, has masterfully showcases the resilience and profound inner world of children through Why Can't Elephants Be Red. This beautifully illustrated book is intended to captivate and inspire young readers, offering them a glimpse into the magic of their own imagination. I would like to invite her up to talk about her book and explain to us the process behind like how she created it and launched it.
As far as I can see, as far as time extends, no soul was ever born outside this home. No heart has ever beat outside this song. When will we ever see that we must only be to feel the freedom of our unity? For in this great land we share.
Congratulations on the release of your debut children's book. Could you share with us what inspired you to write this particular story?
I'm a theatre person and I need to see the back row of the audience, so you'd have to sit down. Good morning, everybody. What a pleasure to be here at the Neerja School. आपको बैठना पड़ेगा, सर. मैं बच्चों की नज़रों के जब तक दिखेंगे नहीं आएगा. So I have a very interesting connection with your school. Saurabh is a very old friend of mine, and I think I came to the school more than 10 years ago when this building and this dome that we are sitting was not even there. So is it like a homecoming for me, Apra? Like a ghar vapsi? And the other connection is that my mother's family is very connected to Rajasthan. Most of my aunts were academics. One taught at Mayo College, Ajmer. The other one was at Banasthali, and the third one used to teach at Bitsmila. So, thank you so much for being bright and happy and smiling this morning, or rather, just about to get afternoon. Every book is a journey, and this book, Why Can't Elephants Be? Breakfast नहीं खाया किसी ने भी. Thank you. One of the journey is the title of the book, Why Can't Elephants Be Red? So when I was at the National School of Drama and I used to work in a theatre and education company, the last play I did before I joined the big bad world of films was called Lal Lal Hathi. How many of you know Nawazuddin Siddiqui? Oh, most of you know. Alright. So Nawaz was my senior in drama school, and one of the days when he was shooting for Sacred Games, this famous series that he's done, he told me he was shooting, we were on the set, I'd gone there for some other work, I was going to do something with him. He told me, "Zara number dial karna." I said, "Samne to बैठी हूँ, why should I dial your number?" He said, "Karo na zara dial." So when I dialed the number, what do you think was blinking on his phone? Huh? Lal Lal Hathi. So I said, "What is this, yeah? I mean, I am Vani Tripathi, what is this Lal Hathi?" He said, "But you are a forever Lal Hathi for all of us." And I'll tell you why I became a forever Lal Hathi for many, many young people like you, and teachers and students and parents, all across the world. The story of the play was a little boy who was very phissaddi in school. But he was very good in art. So one day what he did, he went and painted a red elephant in the art class. But the art teacher got very wild at him. He said, "You're totally nuts. All these crazy fantasies you come up with all the time. Elephants are black or they are grey. Sporadically they are white. What is this red elephant?" So the child waged a very polite but a very firm debate with the teacher, where he said, "Your elephant is black, probably grey and maybe white. I'm okay with it. I have no problem with it. But my elephant is red. Why can't you accept it?" And the moment he said this, I pop out of a school bag in a red velvet costume with really large ears. And the moment I used to pop out from that bag, I used to go to the students and I used to say, "Can you see me?" What do you think they answered? Yeah, breakfast is still not on. And then I used to say, "But that chap at the back can't see me." And all across the world, every single school or performance area that we went to, every single child in the auditorium said, "Because he does not want to see me." What does it mean? It means something very interesting and which is a part of all our learning years of life, whether we are in a school or a college or the university of life, as we say. We only see what we wish to see, and most of the times we are told what we should be seeing, which means, what does that mean? Any takers for that? Being told to see what you are supposed to be seeing, what does that mean? What does this statement mean? Any guesses? Right? Tell me. Very good, that you don't believe in yourself. Anything else?
You can't be imaginative.
You can't be imaginative. So most of our lives, the creative imagination of young people is killed because there are those adults which were so busy growing up that they forgot their childhood, and they are the ones who start telling you what you should see, what you should smell, what you should eat, what you should read. And eventually, what this turns into is a straight-jacketed life where you are like a horse with blinders, and you will be constantly told, ye karo, ye nahi karo. How do we treat young people around us? Hey, tumko kya pata hai? Chalo, go away. Or, where is your shirt? Why is there stain on your shirt? There is nothing wrong in being disciplined, but why do we not treat young people as people who have observations of life? Who have such interesting lives that we are not interested in them. So that's why can't elephants be red? That's one of the journeys. And the double journey, the second journey is, I think we are all coming out of a very perilous time, the global pandemic that we all faced, called COVID. I'm the only child of academic parents. My mother's totally bedridden. So I was with her in Delhi. And at that time, my 2-year-old daughter was in Singapore with my in-laws and my husband. Nobody knew what would have happened in the second lockdown. The world shut down and Singapore completely closed down. I could not meet my daughter for 2 long years. I left her at 2 and I found her at 4. So this book is a virtual journey of these 12 chapters, which are 12 actual people in her life, the great big Indian family that we constantly hear about, talk about, experience in our lives. These 12 Kashmiri people who left their lives on hold to be with my daughter because she couldn't be with her mother. And also it's a wide-eyed amazement of her observation to adult life around her. She looks at people with masks. She can't understand why she's not seeing faces. So she questions that. She looks at teachers. When the masks came off after 1 year, she didn't recognize them because she was just seeing 2 twinkly eyes behind a face fully covered. But then it's also a fun journey into how little people, and all children are little people, like you are also, these young people who are sitting in this room with me. What is the way they look at life around them, and how they find joy in things which to adult minds look very mundane. So that's the journey of the book.
Something you said about putting kids in straight jackets or telling them what to see. How do you think, like art specifically, or whatever work in even performing arts, allows you to kind of let go of that straight jacket or see the world in different ways?
You know, learning should always have one word attached to it, fun. And if learning is not fun, there is no point in learning. Very small things which matter to us, which matter in our lives, is this. Put a piece of paper in front of a child. Ask him or her to write a poem, and ask him or her to write the equation of mathematics. I'm not judging the 2 things. They are 2 very different things. What do you think the child will choose? That should answer your question. Of course, the performing arts give you a peek into those things which are the part of creative imagination of children. And that's exactly what I call it, as my young friend here said, creativity, and creativity with imagination. Look at the world around you. What shape is the blackboard? What shape is the book? What shape is the table on which your teacher sits in class? What shape is the tiffin box mostly that you carry from home? We are completely boxed as human beings. Even the physical reality of our lives is a box. But what is the shape of a round, bouncy ball? And what does it do? What is the difference between a bounce and a shape which is a square? Huh? It is free to move. Beautifully said. The freedom to move, the freedom to think, the freedom to learn, the freedom to read, and the freedom to smell and eat and absolutely experience life is what we don't do. So what do the arts do? They unbox you. They unbox you from those realities which, in any case, as adults, we will be faced with. But even in the years when we should be having loads of fun, in the years when we should be having loads of joy, we already start limiting ourselves to those boxy parameters. So this is exactly what I say. Unbox yourself, otherwise you'll be boxed forever.
As someone who wants to go into the arts in the future, that really resonates with me. I wanted to talk about your creative process. How did you decide that, why did you decide that writing a book would be the best method to get out the story from you in your work in theatre and films?
Frankly, I didn't write this book. Now you'll say what, it was ghostwritten by someone else? No. The story just happened to me. As I said, I almost converted our adversity into an opportunity. We are a land of kathavachaks. We are storytellers. India is full of stories, every nook and corner. Today, you will go back from this session, probably to your friends and family or people at home or people you love to talk to. You will be telling a story about me. Right? So there are so many storytellers sitting right in front of me. You. So stories find you. You only should be open enough to be found. Similarly, this was one of those things I did to keep myself sane during COVID. I probably would have gone mad. I really would have. It was a cathartic process of taking this virtual journey with this child of mine who I could not feel, see and hear every single day. You know, she was so young that initially, even to see her on a video call, she used to think Mama is in the upper story of the house and she used to go looking for me. She just couldn't understand that there's this gadget in my hand in which I'm trapped. So first she actually thought I'm trapped. She wanted to untrap me. So I think everybody who wants to write should just let it flow. Don't force yourself to write. Stories mostly find us. We should be open to embrace them. That's all.
How did this experience of writing from a child's perspective help you connect with your inner child, or did it help you connect with something you thought you'd lost?
Wonderful question. I think all our lives, it's our childhood which actually becomes the parameter or the reason or the foundation for everything that we do in our lives. So obviously, since I couldn't be with her, there was a physical, distance. I almost started wondering, visualizing what all she must be doing with these lovely 12 people who are giving her so much space and time that they actually have forgotten what they should be doing at that time. And it's simple, that journey just unleashed itself. Every day I just thought, what all Akku, my daughter Akshara, we call her lovingly Akku, what all Akku must be doing. And frankly, all the 12 chapters of this book are those actual, real 12 people. They look exactly the same as you see them in illustrations. There is nothing fictional in this book. It's totally real-time writing. And that's also one of the things I wonder about. Why am I scared of real-time creative writing for children? Frankly, your lives are so interesting, your pressures, your successes, your so-called failures. Failure is a word I have a lot of trouble with, but that's another day because I can speak on it all day. Your friendships, your rivalries, your competition, the exams, everything around you is so interesting. But what gets written for young people? Frozen castles, parikathas, fairy tales, fantasies which have nothing to do with their lives. So I'm also raising a debate. Why are we scared of writing realistic stuff for young people and children? Because they have very interesting lives. Their sense of observation is so fertile and the inquiry is so real. They don't manipulate emotions. They don't manipulate even thinking about अगर ऐसा बोल दिया तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा तो ऐसा होगा, उसने ये सुना तो कैसा होगा. All these questions do not occur to a young mind. It's real, it's honest, and it's out of a shell. I think as we grow older, we become extremely corrupt with our own selves.
This brings me to like an interesting question. How did you try to write realistic stories but also show the nuances of inequalities in the world around us to children within your book?
Well, frankly, we are extremely hypocrite people. We mostly preach what we don't practice. So we will talk about inequality to a child, but how do we treat people who are our helpers every single day? You know, children observe everything. What we do to a helper who's a maid or a driver, how do we treat staff around us? Frankly, we talk a lot about equality, gender equality, honesty, we should be equal. Do we actually look within ourselves and realize we are equal or are we not? It all starts from within. Whatever is inside will be outside. So, don't really require to preach big words like inequality. If there is enough equality and treatment of equality around us, that itself is enough to abet a lot of joy for a child, and there's no better way to learn that way than the other.
I think that comes from the idea that you spoke about teaching children like people, not thinking that they won't be able to understand things that are around them, which is very interesting. Your book is also very wonderfully illustrated. You talked about how there are real people we see within those pages. How did you collaborate with your illustrator to bring that vision to life?
So yeah, this is a very interesting question. My illustrator said, how do I look at these people? They don't live in India most of the time. And I said, they live in Akku's head and her life all the time. So I actually started showing him photographs of exact incidents which we were talking about or I was writing in the book. But then sometimes people who are real have a lot of issues about being painted exactly the same way. So obviously, quietly I'd have to have a conversation with people who are in the book and tell them, you are imperative to the narrative of this book. And if we were to take that away, so we've tweaked a little bit, but again, as I said, all the incidents, all the characters, all the way that they look are exactly the same how they are. And that's one of the reasons, full marks to this lovely illustrator from Kolkata called Rupak Niyogi, who brought life into these people who are real people actually. So if you were to look at them, they look exactly the same how they look like in the book. The big fat Indian family.
Apal's journey culminates in her first day of school, which is a significant milestone in a child's life. How does this event contribute to the overall message?
So I think school is one of the most important experiences of our lives, and especially when you're starting out. Obviously also over the years, the largest influence that a child or a young person faces in their lives is the school. And of course post-COVID, for example in Singapore, the schools didn't even shut down for a single day because the country only shut down. And in India you are all doing online classes, whereas the rest of the world, there were children who were going to school. But I wanted to know, and unfortunately I was not there physically again for our first day of school because we were still in lockdown in India. So I wanted to know how would she respond to so many children who she has never met in her life before. Teachers who were wearing masks, they were very strict about masks. So I've left it on the cliffhanger because I think the next part can be escapades of school, and the adventures of a little girl and what all happens to her at school. But I think I can confidently say that the largest influence apart from our own experiences of childhood is the school that we go to. And I'm sure you will all agree that for the rest of your lives, these years will be the founding years of what happens next.
So can we expect a sequel to this book, or will you be looking at other adventures?
If you all sign a non-disclosure, I can say a yes or no to it. Would you? Yeah, I think there should be a sequel coming soon. Really.
That's amazing. How have you found exploring writing compared to what other types of performance arts that you do, and how do they mesh? How does your experience in say theatre influence your experience in writing?
I think again I'm saying various people have various methodology the way they write. I actually don't write. I tell a story. Because I'm an actor first and my training is, to be telling stories. Actors are all storytellers. And telling a story is as interesting as hearing one. So I think I'm basically just a storyteller, and frankly this book is, as I said, a bit of an accident. I thought it was a personal rant. Nobody's going to be interested in a 2.5-year-old's life with a family during a pandemic. Why would anybody want to even hear or read a story like that? Frankly, the personal rant is the ninth city that I am in today, and people are enjoying it. Lot of young people are writing and they're saying it's exactly our lives. And I thought a 2.5-year-old is a 2.5-year-old. Why is a 12 or a 14 or a 16-year-old saying? Which means I think we don't resonate our lives enough. And this is one little food for thought I will leave you all with. Whenever you're writing something, and if it's a creative writing assignment, a little bit of resonance of your own slice of life may be very interesting. And I think that is what made me write it. As I said, I was just telling a story. It is organic that it's out and people are enjoying it.
Would you like to accept questions from me?
Yes, I would, but before that, would you like to hear a chapter from the book? Yes. But you have to promise me that you will all read the book and you will review it from me. Yes. Promise? Yes. I'll leave my mail ID with you and I will wait for your reviews. But only after you've read the book. So this is a very interesting chapter. It's called I Love Art. And very interestingly, in all the launches, Paresh Rawalji launched the book with Smriti Irani in Delhi. And Paresh ji is not just a theatre senior, he's somebody I look up to as an actor. He chose to read this chapter, and then almost like clockwork, every single person who did the launch read the same chapter. I don't know how. I never tutored them, I never asked them. I wanted to see which chapter a person picks up. Divya Datta was a famous actor, did it in Bombay, in Mumbai, and many other cities. But I think maybe this chapter resonates the reason why this book happened and how it happened. It's called I Love Art. So one of the things I absolutely love is a large big chart paper where I can go mad with colors. Now that scribbling is slowly turning into shapes and patterns, a monkey can have a brown tail. I know that now. A tiger can have black stripes within the yellow. I know that now. What I'm struggling with is a parrot which is multicolored. Now don't laugh at me. There is a fascinating story which Mama used to tell me. The story was about Chintu, a monkey who would love to steal the red cap of a passerby. He would throw stones and fruits at that person and carry off that little red cap. Similar things are happening around me. I'm going crazy with colors. I like to actually steal the colors one from the other. I am not just satisfied with just a yellow and an orange. When I mix them together, a brand new color emerges. And that is the fun part. I've become a little better with actually putting color right inside the drawing. It still spills out. But slowly I'm learning to color within the line or inside the circle and keep it inside the border of the drawing. I like to draw various things. It's not just circles and shapes and animals. I love to draw the window outside my room. It has so many trees outside. One thing, when I was little, Mama used to feed me and she used to sing this one thing called building, 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 building. I never understood what that meant. But there are so many buildings outside my window. The moment I look at those buildings, I feel like drawing them. I'm also trying to decide what a non-red Mickey Mouse can look like. What a red elephant can look like. That's fascinating because again a story that Mama used to tell me. It was actually a play in which she used to act at the National School of Drama. The story was about a red elephant. There was a little boy who was very good at art. One day he went to his art class, he drew a red elephant, he failed in the art class. The art teacher told him, how can the elephant be red? Elephants are grey, black or they are white. But the little boy argued, no, my elephant is red. And the moment he said this, that his elephant was red, there were various other children in class who started screaming, my elephant is green, my elephant is yellow, no, my elephant is blue. The teacher was totally baffled. It took a while for the teacher to understand that all of us can have an imaginary friend who can actually be an elephant. And that friend may not be the same color that you see in real life because it belongs to you. You are the ones who communicate with those little elephants or those animals or those trees or those pictures since they are a part of your own being. They take the shape and the color of your imagination. The story of the red elephant has always stayed with me and Mama still sings. Would you sing with me? Yes. Would you sing with me? Yes. Sure? Yes. La 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 la, hathi hu main. हाथी हूँ मैं This is a song from the play in which he acted and Mama says the moment the elephant used to come alive in a red velvet dress all the children would start clapping. So I'm also breaking a few rules these days. I'm trying to paint a green cat or a blue cow. Well, that's really wonderful because this is really close to my heart and it's very precious to me. So remember one thing, never lose your imagination because before you know it, there will be other people who will start defining it for you. Thank you. So my friend says that there may be questions. They know who I'm talking to.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Janvi. Could you please elaborate more on your journey of writing this book?
As I said, it just flowed out of me. I was just trying to keep sane. And I mostly told a story. I was trying not to write it. And that's how it happened.
Good morning, ma'am. Many congratulations for the launch of
Thank
your
you.
book. I'm sure we are all going to absolutely love it. But I'm more intrigued by you as a person. I've heard that you're a social political activist and you have run many campaigns and programs for the empowerment of women and you have also addressed issues like employment in our country. So I would like to know what according to you is the biggest problem that we as a nation and as a society are facing and how do we overcome it?
We do a lot of lip service on children and women in our country, but we actually don't pay much attention to what their needs are. We say a lot of things, gender equality, gender parity, pay parity. But eventually, again it's the same thing, say a lot, do very little, and it never starts from within. So if we will start treating people from all genders, whether they are people of our gender or the opposite gender, it will all come together if we are mindful of how we are as people. And there was a wonderful line in National Literacy Mission many years ago, each one teach one. I first teach myself and then I can teach the other. But we are a very hypersensitive democracy. We are also a democracy of so many billion people, and that is also our strength. We are truly democratic. We can stand up and criticize and nobody stops us. But then that critical appraisal of things should also mean that I'm aware of the responsibilities that I have. If the Indian Constitution gives us the right of free speech, it also talks about the fundamental duties as a citizen. If we'll be aware of both the things together, I think it will all come together.
A very good morning to you, ma'am. I am Ekagra from Neerja School. It's rather common for many writers to go through perhaps writer's block, or they find themselves in a slack. They aren't able to finish their book or just continue with their book. So did that happen to you? And if so, how did you overcome that obstacle in finishing this book?
Frankly, very interesting question. But you know, I have a theory about this word writer's block. When you're blocked, stop. Never force yourself to write. Anyway, with this, as I said, it was flowing out of me. I was in a state of emotional upheaval. Also, I don't know how bad Jaipur was. Delhi was absolutely crackers at that time. Even grief stopped knowing its manifestation. And that is what I thought it was. So for me, I didn't get blocked. I needed to get it out. It was cathartic. But whenever you are writing, only write when you feel like writing. Don't force yourself to write. You only get blocked when you are doing it zabardasti. When you are thinking, no, now I have to finish this. There is nothing called finishing anything. At the end of the day, it's a tale being told. And the tale will only tell itself. It will be if it's being told with the flow in which it needs to be told. So, writer's block is a hyperbole. Probably those who have deadlines, maybe the Ekta Kapoor serial writers have those deadlines. I frankly didn't have it. But yes, there's a golden rule. Sometimes if you have to do structured writing, write on the basic plot. How many characters, where do they belong, who they are, and what they are thinking. When all of this will come together, a tale will emerge. So, rest I'm sure you're all extremely creative people. And writer's block only happens when you actually get blocked. I frankly on this one didn't get blocked. I needed to flow and it flew. It just came out.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Lakshita Chandra, and I would like to ask you that I have read it in your interview that you feel incomplete without this book. Why is it so?
Actually, there are many parts of being a performer. And as actors, we sometimes feel incomplete not doing certain kind of roles. But for me, I think children and young people are such an intrinsic part of my life. I have done so many plays. Children used to sit down and script plays with me. Somewhere, writing for young people was always very important, and I was feeling a sense of unfulfillment. Of course, I did not know in a perilous time adversity will turn into an advantage. This I had not planned. But more than being incomplete, I think this was a wish list. One tick off my bucket list finally.
A very good afternoon to you, ma'am. I'm Niharika, and my question to you is, over the years of having to manage so many diverse roles of being an actress, producer, politician, and now a writer, which one of them did you love and enjoy the most, and which one do you see yourself carrying forward in your career?
I think I'm a storyteller. Politics is also theatre of the absurd. I mean, all kinds of things happen politically. And very beautifully said, Shakespeare used to say, all world is a stage, we are all actors. So acting and storytelling will always remain the most intrinsic part of my life. And I think this book is an extension of that storytelling part of what I feel within. Thank you for that question. Maybe we'll do a workshop together of half a day. Sounds like a plan? Yes, ma'am. Do you want to do a workshop on writing or acting? Acting! That was a no-brainer. Okay.
A very good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Tanish. The book ends on a cliffhanger, so when is the part 2 coming? As we all are eager to read.
पहला तो पढ़ लो, review तो भेज दो, second part भी लिख दूँगी. It'll come. Akshara is now going to be KG2 this year, and I only have the 1 year journey of KG1 because of pre-K time I was not with her. She was going to school without me. So maybe this year I want to watch how she transitions into a higher class. And she's having a lot of fun, she's playing the violin, she paints beautifully. Maybe this year, sometime this year I'll start writing it. Maybe by the end of the year. Maybe I'll take inspiration from your question right now. But for the next few months, I have to travel with the book still. So I think soon. By next year it should be around.
Good morning, ma'am. I would like to ask you that how was Aku's void of not having a mother filled? Were the 12 family members able to fulfill that task, or was she filled like missing you, or was sad about not having a mother?
Those 12 people were various mothers to her, and gender didn't matter. My father-in-law was one type of mother, my mother-in-law was another type of mother, my bhabhi, who she calls Meenu Mama, I don't want to let out too much, was another type of mother. But interesting question. I think initially she did not understand that I'm not there, immediately, because she was very young. It's only as the year went past, there were so many distractions which were ready for her. So one time there was this board on the wall where 15 days was 15 different kind of activity. Mostly they kept her very creatively involved, and I think that was a joyous distraction. But yes, each one of them filled in that void and filled in so well. Today when I go back, they are very large shoes to fill for me. I think they've done a great job with her, and sometimes I am not as good as they were. This is the kind of emotion that I have when I see her, now.
I'd love to give you a token of an appreciation for coming from her.
And one thing I would say, you have such inquiring minds. What amazing questions came out, and we have just about met. Not even spent about an hour together. Just keep the inquiry alive. Just keep the inquiry alive. Everything else will follow. Give hell to adults around you.
I'll just take one moment.
And giving here is ask so many questions that they have no answers to it. Ask questions. Don't stop questioning. Very important. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you so very much on behalf of Prabhaketan Foundation and Muskaan. As I told you that Muskaan is a joint initiative of Prabhaketan Foundation and Education for All, and it is supported by Sri Cements as their CSR initiative. If you people would like to have more of such events of Muskaan, please get in touch with Ritu ma'am. Ritu ma'am, in case if the children want more programs, more events, theatre workshops, please get in touch with them and we promise that we will get you the activities of Muskaan.